Pizzeria is a Las Vegas Eastside Barrio pizza pop-up shop, which was founded by U.S. Navy and Army veteran Anthony Rivera in 2024. As friendly and energetic pizza enthusiasts, they combine old-school Neapolitan techniques with modern high-quality ingredients to create hella good pizza. They're open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, for dine-in, pickup, and they offer delivery and catering for visiting families, large groups, sports teams, and parties. There is no longer a need to go through the hassle of getting your family or large groups to commute to a busy restaurant at a specific time just to be told you're on the waiting list, where you can get the best pizza on the east side of Las Vegas, prepped, baked, and served directly to you in the comfort of your home, Airbnb, or hotel. Please make sure you're following Neo Pizza's Instagram page at Pizza Neo Pizza to stay updated on their current menu selections, special events, and everything in between.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Word Around the Ring. My name is KiingJesss, but you already knew that. We are back and surprisingly celebrating 1 year of Word Around the Ring. Yes, you heard that right. 1 year ago, me and Rob embarked on an epic saga to yap about wrestling to the masses, and it's been a ton of fun getting to do it. Bringing y'all our takes on the world of professional wrestling, and I can't wait for what the future holds. For those that have stuck around since day one, and even those who are new, Big Rob and I would like to say thank you. But enough of the sappy stuff, we got some wrestling to get to. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not alone tonight. No, I somehow managed to sucker in a dear friend of mine, and actually Big Rob's cousin, into joining me this month to cover water. Everyone give him a huge round of applause and welcome on my big dog, OMG Julio.
Thank you. Greatest introduction I've ever gotten in my life. Okay, thank you. I just want to say special shout out to my cousin, Big Rob. It's an honor to be asked to, fill in for him while he's handling his business. Got you covered, Cuzzo. Just know that. And we look forward to your grand return. But until then, unfortunately, the wrestling world moves on and we got to cover it. So I'll be filling the shoes for just a short while. Thank you for having me, Jess.
Thank you for filling in, Julio. Like I said, I'm used to doing these with Rob, but it's always good to have someone new, and you were always one of the two choices that we wanted to have as special guests, so thank you for coming along. SummerSlam, though, is this weekend. It is going to be 2 nights. It is a long one. I think each night is like 4 hours long if you're not watching the pre-show, which is fucking crazy. So let's get into these predictions.
This is the first year too, right? That's 2 night SummerSlam.
Yeah, first year, 2 night SummerSlam being hosted by Cardi B herself.
I know we're used to 2 night WrestleManias already. That didn't take long, but this is the first 2 night SummerSlam. And just a little side note I want to give out. For 2 night SummerSlam, obviously WWE saw the opportunity, the revenue, the money, all this and that. But can we talk a little bit about the revenue this generates for like food places? I gotta buy pizza 2 days in a row this weekend now. Snacks, drinks, like
beers, hot dogs.
The logistics here, man. The logistics.
If you got kids, you're buying merch.
Both nights. Merch for night one.
It's getting crazy. It's getting ridiculous. Dude. TKO really is out here just trying to make a fucking bag out of all of us.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Some of these companies, they don't mind. I bet you Pizza Hut's not going to mind all the extra orders this weekend.
Oh, of course not. I mean, shit. What was it? Little Caesars was having a field day with the Fantastic Four release. They sold so many of those Fantastic Four pizzas from what I heard. So I could imagine, all those pizza places, all those food places around the area for SummerSlam, for places like WrestleMania, must be fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm just going on my own personal rant about the food necessities this weekend now to enjoy 2 nights of SummerSlam, but looking forward to it nonetheless.
Well, let's get to it. We got night one, and in no particular order, I have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross up first. All three of us down the road have Karrion Kross winning this. I think it's because most of us, including Rob now, Rob has recently become a Karrion Kross fan. He really didn't get it at the beginning, but you and me, we've been Karrion Kross fans since we've seen him down in FSW, our local indie here in Las Vegas. So I knew this kid is money. I know that there's something for him to do. They just keep misusing him. And honestly, I could see Sami Zayn walking away with the win here just for the fact that there's like a lack of interest in renewing Karrion Kross's contract. I really hope that that's just a work, and that they have, given him a contract or at least offered him something, because losing someone like Karrion Kross at this point, especially with him getting himself over the way he has, would be a huge detriment to the company. So for this one, like I said, all three of us have Sami Zayn. I want to get some of your thoughts on the matter, though. I know you're a big Karrion Kross fan, but I also know you like Sami to a certain extent. What are your thoughts going into this match?
No, I have Karrion Kross. And yes, if I remember correctly, the first time we ever went out to an FSW taping was just wasn't even a pay-per-view for them. It was a regular TV taping. And Karrion Kross was the champion at the time. Didn't even wrestle. He just came out and cut a promo. And we were like, yo, this guy's it, man. Like we were fans when the guy didn't even wrestle the night we went.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw him come in the ring, cut a promo. It was money. I myself personally was at the FSW show where he announced he was going to be leaving FSW for Lucha Underground. And then from there, like I kind of lost track, and he didn't keep up until he resurfaced in WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then have personally been disappointed with not with him though, but like with the E themselves.
The handling of Karrion Kross.
Yes.
No.
Yes, like I'm not gonna say I've been disappointed in him because it's not on him. I actually had the pleasure of catching him at Bloodsport, WrestleMania week here in town.
Nice.
He wasn't in the main event, of course, but his match was one of the marquee matchups that was being promoted about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if for anyone who saw Bloodsport earlier this year, I don't know if how much they showed, but he grabbed the mic in the beginning when all the competitors came out and were just standing in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he cut a promo, being the hometown boy, right?
Yeah, they definitely showed that.
Okay, they showed that. Okay, and just everyone was behind him. You would have thought Kross was in the main event. He wasn't, but yeah, he's been really good. And I picked him here just because this is the E we're talking about, and if Karrion Kross hadn't agreed to a new deal, he wouldn't even be on TV or having this match. Let's keep it real. We all know how the E works, right? And a fun fact that I shared with you earlier this week, I don't know if it's been shared to the masses by you, but this is the Karrion Kross having a match on SummerSlam is the first time in his entire WWE run that he has consecutive appearances on a premium live event.
Yeah, you told me that. That shit is crazy to me.
So let that sink in. So he has never competed at one premium live event and then competed again at the very next one, regardless if it was a month later, a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever. He's never competed in 2 consecutive PLEs for WWE. That makes me believe that he's re-signed, that he's staying, and Sami Zayn doesn't need this win. So I have Karrion Kross here.
Sammy's an interesting case because I feel like in any in the majority of the matches or the feuds that you put him in, you can make that argument, right? Sammy doesn't need this one. But there's just sometimes where Sammy can take a win and do something with it. And in this circumstance, I just don't see the outcome, I guess ahead of time, of what this win can do for Sammy. But it can do immense things for Karrion. Like I said, there's been kind of a lack of interest in renewing his contract. At least that's what we're being told. Like you mentioned, it can be a work, that he could have already signed something, and that's why he's even in this match. But to be fair, like you mentioned it yourself, they've been misusing Karrion Kross from the start, and finally when he gets himself over, when the crowd is behind him, he gets some of the top merch sales, they still don't want to push him for some reason, and for what reason that is, I don't know, but I hope that they've finally gotten away from whatever reason they had for not pushing him, and they see that he's worth pushing. You could put a belt on this guy and he'd be money. That's all I'm saying, is that Karrion Kross can be that guy. He just needs to be given that opportunity. I feel like more than anything, he's been making those opportunities for himself. So I'm excited for him to be in this match. I'm excited that he's even on the card. Like you said, it's crazy that he was on Bloodsport, but he wasn't even on WrestleMania when it was, in his hometown. So I'm glad he's on the card. I hope this means big things for Karrion. But yeah, all three of us got Karrion down the board. Next,
Aaron
we
Cross,
got
baby.
we got up our first of 2 tag matches for the night. We have the Samoans and Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Oracle faction and Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. The Oracle faction has been a little bit rocky ever since Seth's injury, so it's been kind of hard to see if they're going to continue pushing them forward or not. For this match, I just think that you don't bring the OTC back to lose. You know, the OTC was kind of chilling for a bit. He wasn't doing much. And I kind of figured that they were going to bring him back to do something at SummerSlam. I just didn't know what. But if this tag match, I mean, it looks like this tag match was what they had planned, then I think that he wins. I don't think you bring him to lose against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, especially when right now, like I said, they're kind of struggling without Seth. But there's also a chance that Seth might return tonight. So this can be also a big night for the Oracle faction in general. It could turn the tides for them in a sense and finally get them back on track to being this dominant faction that they're being presented to us on TV, you know? You, on the other hand, you and Rob had the Oracle faction winning here. I want to get your thoughts on that. I want to get where your head's going into this match.
Yes, of course. While I agree with a lot of what you just said, I myself hold some of those views, and I do agree with a lot of what you said. However, where I disagree is on the outcome. I get what you're saying. You don't bring back Roman Reigns to lose. You know, Roman Reigns not showing up to job, and I don't think he is. That's why this is a tag match, right? Roman Reigns is gone after this. Like once again, remember, this is a prediction show. This is gone. I'll tell you why. Remember, This is a prediction show, not a fantasy booking, right? So I have to go with what I think is going to happen, and some real life indicators tell me what's going to happen. Filming for the Street Fighter movie is about to start. Roman Reigns has been cast for now. I don't want to give away spoilers. I don't know how much of our audience crosses over with video game film adaptations, but Roman Reigns has been cast in the new Street Fighter movie. Right? Which, by the way, when I first heard of it, I had just the most like absent-minded reaction. They're like, "Oh, Street Fighter, Roman Reigns." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know they were looking for new voice actors." Like an idiot. But so Roman Reigns is not sticking around after SummerSlam. He's got commitments, and where that crosses over with a part of what you said I agree with is that you're right. Roman Reigns is not here to eat a pin. Jey Uso is. That's what he's here for, man. Not only am I telling you who my pick is to win this match, I am damn near giving away the finish here. Like Jey Uso's in this match to eat the pin, especially after just probably like the greatest reason I've ever seen for anyone to be having a match. People, I've watched wrestling all my life, okay? I've seen many reasons over the years why a match has been made, whether it's someone being undefeated for 15 years and never getting a title shot, then finally demanding one, WrestleMania 3, whether it be a tag team who is imploding over jealousy of their partner, Mega Powers, whether it be custody of a child in a ladder match. I've seen many reasons why men decide to get in the ring against each other. Okay? But snatching someone's shoes right off their fam. That is by far the best reason I've ever seen anyone want to get in the ring with someone else, okay? Man, no, you don't understand the corners of the internet that I frequent, right? With some of my hobby. My man Jesse, I know you don't keep up with this anymore, but I still kind of do. Jesse, someone has already mentioned it in a rap battle.
No,
I just saw the clip this morning. Okay,
no,
someone has already said snatch your shoes like Bronson Reed in a rap battle.
Oh no!
It was Tay-Rock, by the way,
Monday.
It just happened on Monday. Exactly. I'm gonna send you the link because it was in my corner of the internet, and I was like, somebody already rapped And if you're a battle rap fan, this is one of the top guys there, right? Someone has already rapped about Bronson Reed snatching Roman Reigns' days
Mm,
in a battle. So it's already happened, okay?
that is
Like that's how
crazy.
fast like. And then certain people that I follow, and they like there's certain people that I follow that to me they've never mentioned wrestling before, and this news reached them because they put out something talking about it. Okay, so like you know, to me, I texted you when it happened. I think I sent you the videos
You
immediately,
did.
and I
I
was like,
did it.
yo, like, and I'm like, yo, OTC just got his shoe snatched. Oh my God, the disrespect. Like, this is, hey man, I get it, man. Like, I bet you all the kids who are teenagers that they're probably eating this up, man. This is like, to them, this is their moment. This is their mega powers imploding. This
That's
is their invasion storyline. But yeah. Bronson Reed snatching Roman Reigns shoes. To me, that was probably the best thing that's happened in wrestling all year as a
like
segment.
like I said, that has to be some of the hooded shit we've seen on TV. We've seen some pretty hood shit, but just snatching someone's shoes straight off them on live television is crazy. And I fully expect our OTC to get his lick back this Saturday to some extent, even if he doesn't win. But yeah, this was crazy. Like I said, I mentioned this in King's Court last week. There's a chance, Boyle told me, there's a chance that Seth maybe isn't as injured as we thought he was, and he might be cashing in on the first night. And
I've heard the rumors.
if that happens, there is, like you said, if Big Bronson and Braun Breaker win, this is going to be a huge step for the Oracle faction and in the right direction, because they have been kind of struggling. I feel like they're just trying to weigh every option possible. If Seth really is hurt, if he's not hurt, they're trying to make sure that they can progress with what they had without him, because I would imagine that he is a crucial point to this faction and the storylines that they had going forward. None of them, of course, saw an injury coming. So right now they're kind of just in a shuffle, and it seems like the Oracle faction was kind of getting lost in it. But if SummerSlam night 1 is the night that they come back, shit, I'm all for it, because that is a faction that when they got presented, I was excited. I feel like you were excited. Who was excited? We all were very excited to see Paulie have so much fresh talent under him. And the possibilities were endless. Just again, I feel like putting too much of a storyline behind one person is a little bit of a detriment, and that's kind of what happened here. So they got kind of lost in the shuffle, and they're just trying to figure out what they're doing. And I feel like I said, if night 1 is their big night to get them back on track, shit, I'm all for it.
I mean, also for me though, like for me personally, I'm gonna admit I was never that much into Bronson Reed. I didn't dislike him as a performer. I just was never like a big follower, right?
Mm-hmm.
So him being in this faction has been his come up to me, right?
Okay.
But then him doing what he did to Roman Reigns on Monday was him standing out to me like, oh no, this is the kind of heel persona he can be that's outside of the faction, right? Like he didn't need to join this faction to snatch someone's sneakers, right? But
yeah.
the fact that that's something that he added, right? There's look, man, I love Paulie, okay? We all love what he's done for wrestling. There's no way he thought that up. Not Paulie, okay? Paulie said, hey, look, do something that's disrespectful. Do something that'll get the headlines. But Paulie himself didn't write snatch his J's right off his feet. There's no way Paulie himself wrote that in the script. He wrote something disrespectful. He wrote insert disrespect here. That's what he wrote. Bronson Reed did the rest, okay? But Jay snatching aside, you all can tell what's been my favorite segment all year long. OTC doesn't need this win. Main event Jey Uso doesn't need this win. How would it look for Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to just job out to Roman Reigns and then watch him take off for Hollywood?
That's true.
And they don't need it. And as far as what you said about the shoe snatching, I get where you're coming from. Where hey, Roman Reigns has to get his lick back, right? But sometimes that could be long-term storytelling. Maybe that could be something one-on-one with him and Bronson Reed down the line.
That's true. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be
I mean, if I remember
match.
correctly, a famous example to me of this is when Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker WrestleMania streak. Undertaker waited damn near 2 years to come back and do something about it.
That's true.
Fun fact: that payoff I think happened at SummerSlam also.
The
payoff to that was a SummerSlam match, Hell in a Cell. But so like, Roman Reigns does not need to answer the shoe snatching immediately. That can be something that they revisit down the line. Or it could just be a one-off, you know. Or maybe just like you said, in the match he just gets his shoes back, but you know they still lose. You know,
If Big Bronson
whatever
Reed comes
happens,
out
man.
on Saturday with fucking Roman Reigns' shoes, I'm gonna lose my shit.
I don't think they fit him. I don't think they fit him.
No, I mean,
You
like
know
if
what
he
I think he
walks
should
down
do
with
though?
them in his hands like a belt, dude,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna
I thought
lose
you meant
my
wearing
shit.
them. No, you know what Bronson Reed needs to do? He needs to put up like a screenshot of Instagram, pretending like he's selling the shoes on eBay. Like
Ooh,
he needs
you know what
like
he
a
needs to do?
listing.
He needs to recreate that photo of the Drake merch that got stolen that Kendrick used for the cover.
Yeah.
He needs to have
Oh
like he
man.
needs to steal the vest next. He needs to he has the shoes. Someone needs to give him a gauntlet and he just needs to recreate that photo with a bunch of Roman Reigns just stolen shit. And then like you said, in like a year or so, he gets his payback for that photo. Once we've
Yeah.
forgotten about it, Roman Reigns is like, I haven't forgotten about it.
And then and by the way, just to continuously drive home how big this was for me. Braun Breaker's my favorite member of this group. We've hardly talked about him. Braun Breaker needs to win. It's why I picked him. You know, Braun Breaker, rocket ship on his back. The only thing I feel about it's gonna happen too fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this win is a stepping stone to where we need to get.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like not only you, but me and Rob on the pod have been saying this for almost like a year now. Is just strap him up, dude. He's ready. He's ready. The in-ring talent's there. Maybe not the mic skills are all there, but if you put someone like a Paulie behind him, you don't really need the mic skills, you know. And I feel like Braun Breaker is that star that can that next big star. He can be the next big Roman, you know. So yeah, I'm with you. Strap a rocket on fucking Braun and let's see where it can go. All right, but up next we got our first championship match of the night, at least the one in my list, and that is the tag champions of Raquel and Roxanne, filling in for Liv Morgan, versus the team of Queen Bliss, that is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. This partnership has done wonders for Charlotte upon her return. Once she returned and she won that Royal Rumble, the fans kind of turned on her. I was someone that I mentioned it when it happened, you know, the fans were going to turn on her because no one deserves to be given anything upon the return. I feel like everyone should, you know, work their way up or at least work a storyline before they're handed anything. And Charlotte, being Charlotte, just got rushed to the top like she always does, and the fans didn't take it lightly. And they completely turned on her. They gave her shit to the point where it kind of seemed like she didn't even want to fucking come out anymore. But somehow, some way, they have figured a way to get her back in the grace of the fans, and that's by teaming her up by a fan favorite that just recently returned as well, and that's Alexa Bliss. She returned the same night that Charlotte did, and these two have been phenomenal together, not only in the ring, but posting on social media about how they're friends and they're not friends, and just doing these skits just to get this team over. And for that reason, I think that myself and you and Rob also, we got Charlotte and Alexa winning tonight or on Saturday night. Putting the belts on them would make the belts fun, and you can put them up against a plethora of tag teams that we have getting ready for what looks like a female tag division. And to be honest, we all knew that once Liv had the injury and she had to kind of leave that belt empty and Roxanne was going to be taking over, they were just placeholders. It was just a matter of time before these girls got the belts taken off of them. And I would imagine that once Liv returns, if she's not thrown into a main title contention, they'll probably put her back with Roxanne or with Raquel, and they'll probably try to have them win the tag belts again. But for now, I just feel like they're not doing anything with them. And yes, the Judgment Day has a lot of gold, but losing the tag belts, the female tag belts, I don't think will hurt them too much. So for that reason, I have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I want to get your thoughts going into this match. How are you feeling? Do you think that this is going to be an easy win for Queen Bliss, or do you think that Roxanne and Raquel actually put up a fight defending these belts?
Easy win, no. I do think it's going to be a win, obviously, but easy, no. It's SummerSlam. The Roxanne Perez is going to show out. I'm not sure if this is her first SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that.
I think it is.
I'm not sure about. Okay. And so even though she might be coming up here to lose, she's coming up here to show out. Okay. And yes, the Charlotte Alexa Bliss pairing. This will be the first time in the entirety of Charlotte's career that I'm cheering for her. I'm lying. She might have been teamed up with Becky Lynch at one point in history. So second time maybe, but you get what I'm getting at. Like I don't think I've ever rooted for Charlotte Flair. Like I didn't root for her in NXT. I didn't root for her in that match with Natalia where they had Ric Flair and Bret Hart ringside. Like I don't think I have ever rooted
I actually
for
didn't know
Charlotte
you
Flair
weren't
unless
a Charlotte Flair fan.
okay. Well, I was never a Charlotte Flair hater, but just looking back on it, I've never just been pulling for her. That's all.
Okay.
I'm not a hater either. I'm not a like she deserves to lose. She all this and that. But I mean, I'd be lying. Like earlier this year, I was going for Tiffy Time or WrestleMania, straight up. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that was but I've just never rooted for Charlotte Flair. I don't feel she's ever needed my rooting interest. So here paired up with Alexa Bliss, I see it happening. You're right with Liv Morgan being out. We knew it became placeholders. I mean, Liv Morgan also, by the way, we mentioned earlier about Roman Reigns leaving for a movie. Surprise, surprise. What did Liv Morgan initially leave for?
A
Also,
movie.
a movie. Starting to become a common theme here amongst our WWE stars, and you know what? I'm happy for them. Good for them, right? Good for them. There's a new system regime in place. They're able to do this a little more freely. We'll see where it goes, right? We don't know fully what that means for the wrestling product going forward, but as currently constructed, I see nothing wrong. But yes, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss here for so many reasons. Just not just because Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are hot right now. I've even heard rumors that the Charlotte and Alexa Bliss pairing was supposed to end already, but at Charlotte's request, that got extended. Now I don't know how true that is. Like I don't know the validity of that, but we all know the rumors. The rumor is that whatever Charlotte wants, Charlotte gets, and if she herself requested for this pairing to extend, then here we are, right? And I could see it. I could see it spinning off into what will eventually happen with them. And story is that, eventually when they need to break it off, them having the tag titles is gonna come into play.
Yeah.
With the story,
Of course. And I'm pretty sure
I think this is
later on down the road we'll get, the Charlotte versus Alexa, match off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for right now, for what it is, it's working. And if it's not broke, don't fix it, So I think
this is
go for it.
So I think this is their moment. I think this will be the moment, like down the line when we think back on the Charlotte Alexa Bliss pairing.
Mm-hmm.
What's about to happen on night 1 of SummerSlam will be the defining moment of that pairing. So basically, I'm having them down as only a one-time tag team champion, but that will be the highlight of like when you look back on it years from now, like, hey, what was the height of the Charlotte Alexa pairing, SummerSlam night 1? I think that's what we're about to watch.
Yeah, like I was getting to, this is really just to get Charlotte back on top, she came in and like I said, the fans just didn't take to her like they did before. And with this pairing, they're starting to get back on her side. So I'm fully under the assumption that this is just to get Charlotte back in the good graces of the fans. And eventually, like you said, they'll lose the tag belts. That'll cause some turmoil and they'll fight each other. And it just works out because it's a win-win situation. Charlotte gets back in the good graces of the fans, and Alexa gets back in that ring shape that she probably needs to be back in, because she did recently go have a kid, and while she's in phenomenal shape, we all know that ring shape is different than being in shape. And seeing as how last minute her signing was supposedly the day of the Rumble, I would imagine that she wasn't completely in top ring shape. But being paired up and having these training sessions with Charlotte and eventually being in a feud with Charlotte will definitely get her back into that ring shape that she's always been in and that we know she can be in. Because she is a phenomenal artist, and I hope to see her in a main title contention in the future, whether that be something like the US title, the IC belt. There's plenty of belts now for the females to go and contend for, so I'm excited for the returns to singles competition. But as for now, tag wise, they're doing phenomenal, and I do expect them to win on Saturday. Next up, we got the match that I have the most issues with, and we'll start off with the first one. Drew McIntyre is landlocked somewhere across the pond, and it looks like He will not be
That's a
making it.
work.
Whether you think it's a work or not, right now he is not making
It's a
it, and it
work.
is Logan Paul and mystery opponent versus the Jelly Roll Man himself and Randy Orton in the celebrity tag match. I hate celebrity tag matches. I know that they've always had a part within the WWE, but to me, it just feels like we could be having a talent from the back benefit from the spot a lot more, and we're really just doing it to outsource to different crowds. And being as we are in the Netflix era and wrestling is as popular as it is, as is ever been, I don't think that we really need that outsourcing. You know, I feel like this could have been a big team up for someone that maybe had a dream to team up with Randy Orton, and we're just giving it to someone like Jelly Roll. Not to knock Jelly Roll, you know, good for him. Get the bag, get your dream, but I just don't feel like a celebrity match is needed anymore. For that reason, though, I feel like TKO is going to give it to Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. It seems like you're on that side with me, but your cousin Big Rob, he thinks that Logan and Drew are going to win this. I don't know if he thinks that if Drew is also a work. I know he's a big Drew fan, and that's probably why he has Logan and Drew winning. But to be honest, just out of the semantics, just because I know that TKO likes their money and they want to see that celebrity win, I have Jelly Roll and Randy Orton winning. I want to get your thoughts going into this match. Do you think TKO should be forcing more celebrities into our product, especially a pay-per-view as big as SummerSlam, or do you think we're past the celebrity, invitation into the WWE?
What's funny is that I don't even think this is a TKO thing. If I'm being
Really?
honest with you, I mean, rock and wrestling's been around since the 80s. Well, I feel like what we're seeing here was the ultimate goal of rock and wrestling. For any of our fans that don't know what that is, this was Vince McMahon's idea in the 80s, rock and wrestling. He put celebrities on the shows as often as he could. Cyndi Lauper famously had Captain Lou Albano in one of her music videos.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the end. Jelly Roll's a music artist. This is literally the end goal of what rock and wrestling was created to do way back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Vince may be gone, but his baby is not. That's what I see this as. And the reason for my pick is just that their WWE is not bringing in Jelly Roll to lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what's happening here. This is so while I do share a lot of the problems that you have about celebrities and spots that can go to someone else, which I wholeheartedly agree with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't all I'm saying is it's not a TKO thing. Rock and wrestling's been around since the 80s, and this is nothing new. Now, do I hope Jelly Roll is going to surprise me? Yes, there have been some great celebrity performers. Stephen Amell, right?
Yeah.
Bad Bunny, right?
See,
There have been.
I would mention
Go ahead.
I would mention those two, but in that aspect, Bad Bunny put in the work. He went through wrestling school for months, and he went through the work. I'm not saying that I don't think Jelly Roll went through the work, but I don't think he's putting in as much time as they did. Stephanie Mill had
he's trimmed down. Have you seen him recently?
No, I know he's trimmed down, and I know that that's one of the main points that they've been using on the show. Is like, oh my god, he's in phenomenal shape. That's why he's doing this. I get that, but like I said, I don't think that I would put him in the same category as a Bad Bunny or Stephanie Mill, just because they did take it a little bit more seriously. They did have, in a sense, somewhat of a little bit of a wrestling career after their first appearances. I don't think that this will be a Jelly Roll takeoff. I don't think Jelly Roll is gonna come out in NXT and have a match, or get salty against WWE and go appear in AEW. I don't think so. I think this is a one-off. But I see where you're coming from. I remember Rock and Wrestling. I do remember Cyndi Lauper having Lil Albano in one of her music videos. I think that was right after the whole WrestleMania thing where she walked down the ring with him.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like celebrity matches are just not there. There are people like you said, like Stephanie Mill, Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, even to a certain extent, where celebrity becoming wrestler has been something amazing to witness. I mean, Logan Paul is, whether you hate him, whether you like him or you hate him, he's a fucking talent, bro. He fucking gets in there and he puts on a show. Do I know he could do a little bit more? Yes. And do I wish that he did it? Yeah. but the kid's a talent, and you can't deny that. He's the future of this company.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no, no. Of course, no one is saying that Jelly Roll is about to come out here and be Logan Paul.
nah,
So what I'm saying though is I hope he's okay. To me, Bad Bunny was a surprise.
yeah,
I
100%.
when the Bad Bunny thing happened, I thought it was such. Which, by the way, also SummerSlam, I want to say Bad Bunny.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, just a little running theme here with SummerSlam as we noticing. But like to me, Bad Bunny was a when I saw him in the ring, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Right, that's all. And I'm not saying Jelly Roll can be that good. I'm saying, look, man, if Jelly Roll does a
540 splash.
I, nah, not happening. That is not happening, folks. I don't look. We don't condone certain activities here on this pod, but if it's legal in your state, or if you have access to any of the dozens, if not hundreds, of apps that have popped up, put the house on Jelly Roll not doing a 540 on SummerSlam. Okay, put the house on it. Okay, but what would impress you if Jelly Roll can do? If Jelly Roll can do the tour of the islands, if he gives someone the tour of the islands, would that impress you? I feel like that would impress me.
I think it's not going to take a lot to impress me from Jelly Roll. I think I'm going to be very impressed because I don't think that he's been training. So whatever little training he has done, if he does, like you said, if he does the tour of the islands, I'd be impressed.
Yeah. If he the big ending, if he does the big ending, Big E's finisher. When he
yeah, big ending. Yeah, I would say that. If he does a suplex to Logan Paul, I would be kind of impressed.
And by the way, people, I just want to point out, I am no Jelly Roll fan. I'm not a hater either. I just I honestly I can't tell you, I can't sing any of his songs off the top of my head right now.
Listen, neither can I, but I'm pretty sure
I'm
know
not hating,
some.
but yeah, no, it's one of those. Oh wait, so that like if you play it for me, I'll be like, oh wait, that's Jelly Roll. Okay, yeah, I know that song, but just off the top of my head, I don't know. But yes, with this, it's like I don't think they're bringing him in to lose. Randy can do most of the work. If we're being honest, like there's a certain subsection of fans out there that think Randy Orton's been doing nothing but make wishes this whole year. Like, I mean, look at his WrestleMania match. It was against it was against Joe Hendry. Great moment, by the way. Great moment, by the way. But for Randy, like, and this is no offense to Joe Hendry or TNA or anything, but I'm pretty sure if you ask Randy what his ideas were for his 20th WrestleMania, number one on his list wouldn't have been Joe Hendry. But once he was put in the position he was put in, he went to what I think is the best pivot they could have done with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was Joe Hendry. So I think this year Randy Orton is just, granting wrestling wishes. Hey, Joe Hendry, you want to be on WrestleMania? Come with me. Hey, Jelly Roll, you want to be on SummerSlam? Come with me. Like Randy Orton is just churning them through, So Randy Orton can do most of the work. Something I want to ask you about though, since we can make a little game of this, if the Drew McIntyre thing's not a work, which I believe it is. I believe it is on whatever side you land on. Who's the replacement partner? Who is there with Logan Paul?
This has been a tough one because I've been trying to go back and forth. See, if you were to ask me it the other way around, if Drew was still there and Logan was still there, who would I switch out for Jelly Roll? I feel like I could name like a number of people that I could think could benefit from that spot. But now it's kind of interesting because now you have a celebrity and a wrestler and a mystery opponent. And do we put another celebrity in that spot? Or do we put another wrestler that we can, count on? And I've been trying to wrestle with who we can put in both positions, and I can't really figure out a combo that I would be happy with. But recently, The Miz has taken to social media, and he has been kind of vying for the spot. He's been saying, I know Drew is on lockdown across the pond. He's like, and who better than to take this spot than the person that brought Logan Paul into the WWE to begin with.
I was gonna say, is Miz even a heel right now? Is he a heel?
I don't know where I don't think it has to be a heel. It looks like he's going a little bit more heelish in the aspect that he feels like he deserves more and he's not being given it. So I feel like that's why he's taken this opportunity and he's taken to social media and he's like, hey, I want that spot. I brought Logan Paul in. I should have that spot. So for that reason alone, I feel like they might go for The Miz, but that can also be a work. They can be trying to hide either the fact that Drew McIntyre is in the States or the fact that they got someone bigger for that spot. But as of
Look,
now, I would say that I wouldn't mind if Miz was in that position because Miz is a talent
okay.
that can come through when needed, and this is one of those moments where shit, we kind of just need a superstar to come through. And I think that the Miz would pull through in that spot. Is there someone that you had in mind for that position?
Well, I don't necessarily have anyone in mind, but now that you mentioned a few things, when you said if they're trying to get another celebrity, like I was thinking, do we even have any celebrity heels? Like, is there any heelish celebrity that
No,
has beef with Jelly Roll to show up? Like,
you can
who's
have
showing
the
up is
connection between Logan Paul and someone like Andrew Schultz, who actually interacted on Raw.
oh,
Um,
okay, I see that.
who else can you have? You've had
Because
Logan Paul interact with a lot more celebrities than I think we've noticed, and I could say you can just bring one of them in, but how ready
oh
they
no,
would be,
I know a heel celebrity. You could get I Show Speed to team up with
that's
Logan
true.
Paul.
Oh,
I
that's
would I
perfect.
would
Yeah,
hate
they're
that.
both
I
streamers.
would hate I
They're
would
both
hate that so
streamers.
much.
You can have that.
Because I don't know any celebrities that because I don't know much about Jelly Roll, right? Like who's a celebrity that would have beef with him? Hell, to my knowledge, the only person that has beef with Jelly Roll is I don't know, ex-girlfriend or something, baby mama.
Yeah, for the most
Is
part, I'm pretty
the
sure he's
judge
a
he had
humble
at his
guy.
child the judge he had at his custody hearing. That's who he would team up with.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know anything about Jelly Roll. Okay, I don't know if he has kids. I don't know if he has custody of them, but I'm just saying who would come in with a vendetta against Jelly Roll to be in this match. Um, heels. So here's the thing. If a wrestler took the spot, I would want it to be a heel wrestler, right?
Uh huh.
But most heel wrestlers I know are busy already. You know,
Yeah.
um, Dirty Dom is busy. The LWO
Solo.
is busy. Yeah, like most of the heels are busy. And as far as celebrity, like the actual speed just came to me now. I didn't even have that in mind. But here's what I think. Okay, if Drew McIntyre posts anything, and I mean anything on Saturday, talking about if you post a picture from you can
Oh,
raise,
yeah.
he's there. I
Yeah,
know for a fact he's gonna be there.
100%.
No. He's gonna pull the nod. Look, guys, I'm still here in the UK. He's gonna
Yeah,
post a later gram, for from a different day, trying to say that he's still over there. If he does that, then I know he's in the match. I know he's there. Forget about it, But a good fill-in. So I'm okay. My celebrity fill-in is gonna be I Show Speed, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you that my wrestling fill-in will be The Miz.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it just makes sense. He's been going on social media. He's been vying for the spot, and honestly, I would just give it to him just off of that. I didn't even remember he was the one that brought Logan Paul into the company. So, what better tag partner than technically the person that brought you in? Um, Again, this is one of those throwaway matches, at least for me. It's a subway match. I really don't give a fuck. If anything, it's going to give me a really cool spot, probably between Randy Orton and Logan Paul. Randy likes to have his SummerSlam moments. Famously, he has the one with Seth. So this will be a fun match. It's just not a match that I really care for. Up
Oh, I
next,
mean,
though. Oh, go for it.
no. It's just final thought on that. Say what you will. I'm not calling it a bathroom break match or anything. I will say this: I'm not missing that Randy Orton entrance.
No, of course not.
That's money right there. I'm not missing that Randy Orton entrance. I'll miss the rest maybe. I'm not missing that Randy Orton entrance.
Next up, though, we got the final, or no, actually the third or the second championship match of the night, and we have Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. And sadly, I think Tiffy's time is up. She's done what she needed to do with the belt. She's had a phenomenal run. I think that the company is hot on Jade Cargill. I think the fans are hot on Jade Cargill, and I think this is the moment that they're gonna take and finally put that belt on her. Either way, this match is going to be great. I feel like Jade is coming back from an absence, and she is just on fire. Tiffany has been great, throughout her run as well, like I previously stated. So this match is going to be a good one. I want to get your thoughts going into this. I don't really have much to say because these two talents really haven't feuded much as of late. This is really just putting two really good talents up against each other for the belt and seeing which way we go forward. So I want to get your thoughts going into this. Do you have Tiffany? Well, you actually have Tiffany. I have Jade in this match. And so does Rob. So let me get your thoughts going in. Why do you think Tiffany is walking away retaining her belt?
I mean, well, first and foremost, look, I respect both the opinion of you and my cousin. Okay.
Okay.
No matter how wrong it is, okay? Because it is Tiffy time, okay? It has been Tiffy time. It still is Tiffy time. It will always be Tiffy time, okay? This run is not over. Tiffy time is out right now. Tiffy time just threw out the opening pitch in New York for the Mets. I think Nia Jax was there too, or something like that, right?
Yes.
But but Tiffy time is doing the circuit right now. She's throwing out opening pitches at stadiums. She's showing up in shows. This week, ESPN has been having a bunch of WWE people on their shows. Triple H was on First Take. Cody was on Hot Wings earlier this week. And the whole time I'm thinking, where's Tiffany Stratton? Well, why hasn't she been invited to do any of these, man? I think it's still Tiffy time. Look, I was in the building for night one of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, I was in the cheap seats. Okay, so maybe this only applies to my section. Whatever, right? I can only tell you and the listeners about what I saw from where I was. Yes, the nosebleeds. So what? I was in the building, peoples. Okay. Jade Cargill's WrestleMania entrance, at least in my section, was met with indifference. Whatever it is she was trying to do on WrestleMania, it didn't translate. Okay. Now maybe people sitting in better seats who could see what exactly she was going for, maybe they popped for it. I can assure you, my section didn't. Okay. I was there. I saw this with my own eyes. Now, on the rewatch, I eventually saw what she was going for, right? Some sort of Storm X-Men dealy, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you took it as?
Yeah, Storm. Yeah.
Okay. It did not translate well, at least not where I was sitting in the building that night. Okay.
It did on TV. It did on TV.
I believe you. I believe you. But I'm just telling you what I saw from where I was sitting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people were like, "What is that? What is that?" And then the little weather report beforehand didn't do her any favors either. But I do admit that came off way better on TV than it did like in the building for me. Tiffy Time's entrance, right? Money both times. Was money in person, was money on TV. Now I'm not, like I said, I'm not basing just this based off entrances. I think both women are respectable in the ring in their own category. Neither one of them is necessarily a technical mastermind in there, right? I do think that Tiffany Stratton's wrestling ability is higher than Jade Cargill's, right?
Yes.
Anyone can fight me on that if they want.
I don't think anyone
I don't
will.
think this run is over. Okay, yeah. Oh no, someone will. I'm sure we'll find. They put like this. The people who are willing to fight me on that probably just haven't heard this yet, and we got to get this to them. We got to get them to hear this. But I don't think Tiffany Stratton's run is over. I don't think Jade Cargill is ready to carry anything. Jade Cargill has never even carried a feud. Okay, I don't think she's ready to carry the belt.
She carried the tag belts.
No, she carried the belts, yeah, but that was because someone else was there to help her, and I don't think she was ever the driving. I don't think Jade Cargill has been the driving force in any feud she's been a part of in WWE up to this point. Now that's not her fault. That's not her fault. That's how it's been booked. All I'm saying is maybe it's been booked like that for a reason. I don't know these things, but if you can't even carry a feud, how do I expect you to carry the belt? It is still Tiffy time, okay?
All
it is
valid
still
points.
Tiffy time, and we will be debriefing. We'll be debriefing very soon after that match, I presume.
All valid points. Like I said, I just think that maybe it's time for Tiffy to lose the belt. Whether even if this isn't the end of Tiffy time, if this starts a rivalry between her and Jade, and this just helps, like you said, Jade isn't better in the ring than Tiffy. But if this helps Jade get better in the ring, if this feuds that they start or whatever, if it's a back and forth, if this helps her get better in the ring and it helps, Tiffany get even better in the ring, then I'm all for it. But they see something in Jade. The crowd, at least from what I know, see something in Jade. So I just feel like at this point in time, the way that they've been carrying along with Tiffy, maybe it's time for Tiffy to pass the belt. Whether that just be for a little bit, and like I said, they get a little back and forth, that's fine. But I just don't see Tiffany walking out of SummerSlam Night 1 as champion anymore. But like you said, we'll have to debrief post-match next week after everything is said and done. And shit, maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't the end of Tiffany. Maybe this is just the start of Tiffy, and we get to see her go on a longer reign post this. But up next, we got the main event for night one, and this one is gonna be crazy. We got CM Punk versus Gunther for the title. This can be CM Punk's shot. This can be the time that they put a belt on CM Punk. But will they? We know, we've talked about it. I even brought it up last week on King's Court. There's a small rumor that Seth Rollins might not be as hurt as we think, and that he might be cashing in on this main event to prevent CM Punk from acquiring gold, as he promised us so many months ago, and telling CM Punk, while I'm in the company, you will never see gold. Will that happen? Who knows? But this match in general between CM Punk and Gunther will be a fucking barn burner. Both of these talents are at I would say at some of the peak of their careers right now. Some may say that CM Punk has passed his peak, but I feel like he's just getting back to where he was before. Gunther, on the other hand, is a fucking menace to go up against. There's a reason why we keep putting a belt back on this man, and it's just because he carries it well. He knows what to do. He knows the assignment when he has that thing around his waist. And honestly, I would love to see Gunther win this, but I think that if there's no fuckery, I feel like CM Punk finally gets his gold. But if you're asking me as a fan, I do kind of feel like Seth might be coming in to, cash in, have another cash in of the century, as he loves to do. But I want to get your thoughts going into this. You have Gunther, your cousin has Gunther. What's your thought process going into this? Do you think that Seth Rollins has anything to do with this match, or do you think this is just going to be a straight match between CM Punk and Gunther?
Oh, okay. I like that you threw in the Seth Rollins thing, just because when I gave you my prediction, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just based on CM Punk Gunther, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Seth Rollins rumors, I hadn't heard them yet. At least when I gave you the prediction, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard them yet. So, my full on prediction, regardless of what happens, is that CM Punk is winning nothing. Okay, because because I've picked Gunther obviously to win, and that's like if Seth Rollins doesn't show up, right, to cash in. And then if Seth Rollins shows up, yes, just like you said, Seth Rollins has said as long as he is in the company, CM Punk will have no gold. Okay, so it wouldn't make any sense for CM Punk to win the match and then Seth Rollins to come out and attack him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do the typical Money in the Bank thing, hit him with the briefcase, tell the ref he's cashing in, have the ref ask 5 times, "Are you sure? Are you like cash the damn thing?" God, that's a rant for another day. Okay, how long these refs take to, like, right now, you want to cash in right now, like giving the guy enough time to get up, and then he has to hit him again. But so my full-on prediction is CM Punk wins nothing, because picking Gunther means CM Punk doesn't win, and the rumors of Seth Rollins returning in storyline, they mean that he would stop Punk before winning. Like
Mm-hmm.
like Punk winning and then Seth taking it away from him right away doesn't make sense with the guarantee that Seth has made, that as long as I'm in the company, you won't have any goal. I don't know if he said you won't be champion or you won't have any goal. Like, so does this mean that Seth will stop him from winning like the US title? Like, what are we talking here? Does he just mean like one of the heavyweight titles? Because like can Punk go down and win the cruiserweight title and Seth's okay with it? What's going on here, right? Like, Seth's gonna start dieting to stop him. Because you remember when Punk was in UFC, he fought at 170 pounds. Okay,
He did.
so Punk can win the cruiserweight belt.
We don't even have the cruiserweight belt no more.
They don't even have it. He'll have to resurrect it because Seth keeps stopping him.
That's the only belt he'll be able to win.
Bring back the 24/7 belt. You think Seth will have a problem with CM Punk winning the 24/7 title? Like, but seriously. And then as far as like the match itself, like yes, unfortunately, I am a contrarian to you. I think CM Punk is on the downturn of his career. And to prove, well, not to prove it, but at least to prove why he shouldn't win the belt here. Let me ask you this question: When was the last time a CM Punk title reign was successful in any company? Because I can assure you, his AEW run was No, it wasn't his fault, but I'm holding it against him. Like yes, I'm being a hater. The only AEW show I ever went to go see live, CM Punk was in the main event and he won the belt, and it pissed me off. Okay,
Eh,
and so like, but seriously, like even this even discounting that, when was the last time a CM Punk title run was successful? If it's been more than a decade, we have a problem. And I mention that because, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been more than a decade
that
since
has
the
been.
CM Punk title reign was successful.
Yeah.
So like, what makes them think? And that's nothing to say about CM Punk. Look, man, the man's lived this life. He already had a lot of miles before he even got to WWE. Let's keep it real, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he was even able to have the run he had. But CM Punk title reign in this day and age is just not doing anything for anybody except CM Punk himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
except for CM Punk.
yeah, except for CM Punk, but I just don't see. I just don't see what WWE's plan would be. And I mean, he's in there against Gunther, man. Like seriously, like so you're telling me you're gonna have Gunther lose in? Well, these aren't back to back, but he already lost at WrestleMania, and you're telling me you're gonna have him lose at the next Big Four event? This is gonna be a down year for Gunther on the PLEs? Like, what are we doing
Well,
here?
I mean, it kind of seems like it, and I wouldn't really put it past them, seeing as the year that we've seen Drew have. I feel like all of us are on the
Yeah.
same page that Drew deserves a win. He's been owed a win for so long, and they just don't give it to him. And if he was in this match on Saturday, he would have lost. So yeah, I could see them doing the same thing to Gunther, where he's just not gonna win, and they just keep fucking him over. And that was in my notes today. Sadly, I think that Gunther's fucking on Saturday, and that sucks
Okay,
because
so
we honestly, he deserves better. Like I said, I mentioned at the beginning, when we have gold on him, he is gold, and that is a detriment to a certain extent. But it's just because he knows the assignment when he has that on him. And I feel like he's better and he makes the product better when he has a belt on him. A lot more people kind of come out of the woodwork to kind of prove themselves and try to challenge Gunther. And that's something I don't see as much with someone like a Cody or a John right now. Not a lot of people are trying to line up to knock them down. But it seems like Gunther, every time he has a belt, everyone's lining up to knock him down. So yeah, it sucks. It
all right,
sucks that
so
he's gonna lose, and it sucks that it seems like this is the trajectory he's going with in his career. But sadly, we've seen the signs. They made him
so
lose to Jay, in the shittiest fashion, only for him to
I'm
win back a belt
I'm
from
still
him
upset
later on
about
down the
that.
road. Like,
I'm still upset about that. My first WrestleMania that I go to, and it opens with Gunther losing, man. So much I'm upset about.
it's just this is
I'll say
bullshit.
this. I'll say this: if Gunther is set to lose, then if he's set to lose, then I want Seth Rollins to show up and cash in because that's the only way I'm okay with Gunther losing this. Then,
And I feel like that's
so if
that's
he
how
is
it
set to
should be.
lose, then that's what I want. If he's set to lose,
But then it leaves us with the question: what's next for Gunther? Because it's going to be CM Punk versus Seth. That's where it's going to go. And seeing as we don't really respect a rematch clause anymore, that kind of leaves Gunther fucked completely. Where do we go from here with Gunther? And that just having to deal with that consequence sucks because Gunther does deserve a lot more.
well, there is one more scenario. Now, it's the rare scenario, but we could always get a failed cash in. Seth Rollins could show up, make it a triple threat. Gunther still comes out on top, and then you still have CM Punk and Seth because they both would blame each other for
For
costing
losing.
each other the triple threat. So basically, like, Seth Rollins, CM Punk are so focused on each other they forget about Gunther, and they cost each other the match, right? The impromptu triple threat, and you have Gunther, getting out of this. Which I'll admit, yes, I don't know where we go from here, but it's Gunther, okay, man, seriously. Okay, let him choose. Let him choose. I think he's earned the right to choose who he wants to be in the program with, right? He'll make it money. And then you still get Seth Rollins and CM Punk, as a feud out of it. Now, it's the rare of the two. I think there's only been what, two, maybe three failed Money in the Bank cash-ins all time.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. We might need to look that up. But hey, stranger things have happened.
That's true. I do like that outcome though, because it does set up, like you said, it leaves CM Punk and Seth ready for something, and it allows Gunther to retain his belt. But it's, does WWE see the benefit in doing that, or are they so, narrow focus in having, Seth be the top guy, as they're giving him, the big faction and the Money in the Bank and the two big dogs to protect him. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this night turns out. I would love it if it would turn out the way that you just mentioned it, but I don't know if WWE could get their head out of their ass to make something like that happen, to be honest. And that's just me being fair. But that brings night one to an end. We also got another night, and this is nothing but goddamn belts all across the board. First up, we got a big one. We got Naomi, Caution, or perceived Caution era Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the women's world belt. This is going to be a barn burner. I don't see Naomi losing, though. I think that she retains. There's no need to take it off of her. She's been doing a phenomenal job since her heel turn, and it's something that I've said previously in the podcast before. Her detriment was not letting go of that glow gimmick sooner. That was that, and leaving with Sasha at the worst time possible were the worst decisions of her career. And it's good to see her finally back on track. She decided to finally embrace this heel persona, or they probably encourage her to embrace this heel persona, and she has just been living it up, whether it be inside the ring, backstage, or on social media. She is just using every source and avenue to get herself over, and I've been enjoying it. I've been loving it, and I honestly don't see a reason for her to lose here. I would love to see the belt back on Io at some point, but that can come down the road. Even if it's a different type of belt, I feel like you put Io anywhere and she'll make magic. So I don't necessarily see her, regaining her belt in this match. And as for Rhea, I've said it for weeks. We need to get her away from this goddamn belt. Move her away from the title contention. She needs to prove to not only the fans, but to us, the critics, that she can do something else besides be in that title picture and be, the big female superstar. She needs to let some of the other females shine for a little bit. And I've even pitched this. They're getting a very strong female tag division down there, getting ready. And we've seen the success of something like a Queen Bliss tag team. Why not put Rhea with someone down there? Get her down there with someone that is completely opposite to her style, and see if you can work magic. Have her express or flex that creative muscle in a different way, but just get her the fuck away from this belt. Me and Rob have Naomi winning. You have Io winning. I want to get your thought process going into this, because we obviously do not have the same thought process. What are your thoughts going into this match? Why do you have Io winning?
It's Io Sky, man. I honestly, like look, man, I've been rocking with Io Sky since Lucha Underground, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, when she was over there wrestling men and stuff, okay? let's keep it real. I mean, she had women's matches there too, but whatever.
Bring in her gender to WWE.
Look, Io Sky is the most technically sound wrestler in this whole match, okay? It's not a knock on Rhea. Rhea's great. Rhea's like Naomi is the least technically proficient wrestler in this match. However, all three women, for me, fall under the technically proficient side.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi's no slouch. I don't think Naomi's a bad wrestler. She falls under the category of good wrestler to me. It's just that she's the least technically proficient in this match. It's Naomi at the bottom, then Rhea Ripley, then Io Sky on top. And then Io Sky, honestly, this little run she's been on these past 2 to 3 years, the best women's matches that have been coming out involve Io Sky.
100%.
Now, earlier this year, WrestleMania Night 2, the opening match, that was, Rhea Ripley was there too, right? I'm not taking anything away from her there, right? But Io Sky's just been involved in more. Heck, remind me, I got to do better notes preparation for the next time, but the first time the women did War Games, Io Sky was in that.
Mm-hmm. She's been in every single War Games.
Yeah, she's been in every single one of them. But that very first one, to me, Io Sky had the moment of that match when she moonsaulted off the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a trash can involved too.
Was it the trash can? Yeah, the trash can. Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, so understand that, like, very quietly, mind you, Io Sky has been providing the moments of the women's division. Now, this was more than 3 years ago, but more recently, in the past 2 to 3 years, like, Io Sky moments have been like the top women's moments from an
No.
in-ring standpoint, you know? So like, and the company sees that. I mean, they had her go over at WrestleMania. Like, come on, yes, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
We're so um Naomi's had a good run with what she's doing, Caution Naomi, that's been a hell of a run. I thought her Feel the Glow was gonna be like what she's most remembered for, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's gonna be this, okay? But see, one thing that I'm noticing is that the gimmick she has right now does not require the belt.
No,
It
it
just
does not.
requires feuds. It just requires feuds that we believe her in. And she plays this character so well. I think I believe this character in any feud if she's like goes for it. With Rhea Ripley, I agree with what you said. We need to get her away from this belt. We need to get her away from, a lot of what she's been doing and just set her on a different path to like, bring it back. Not that she's been bad, but she could do with some changing.
Yeah.
And Io Sky is just, to me, it's just Io Sky. Io Sky needs this belt. She needs to be the one carrying it forward. She needs to be the flag bearer for that division right now because she puts on the best matches,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what that division needs right now. And uh, honestly, I think that whoever's gonna dethrone Io Sky, because I mean, well, technically she's dethroned at the moment, but who's finally gonna do it? I don't even think they're on the main roster yet. I think it's gonna require an NXT call up. Who? I don't know, but I don't think I don't see anyone who's made their story to be the one to like finally take out Io Sky.
Nah, she's young in her career too. She's still got a long way to go.
That's what I'm
It,
saying. So the person to dethrone her is still down in development. So they might even still
oh,
be in LFG for
yeah,
all we know.
well, I mean, they might still be on the Indies, if anything. No, honestly, I mean, she's young, and like you said, and I've said this, countless times on the podcast before. Io Sky is her. Like, that is the sole female that if you want representing the WWE, you send her, and we've seen it. She went down. She went over to Japan to do the Marigold show as a representative of WWE, which is something that would have never happened under the Vince era. Like you said, she's consistently put on the best matches within the female division, single or in conjunction with other superstars. So yeah, I mean, I love Io Sky. I think everybody knows that. I'm a sucker for Io Sky, and it's really just it comes down to the talent and the workhorse that she is, and nothing really else. She really is that person that you can call in, and we have a couple people in the company. That I wouldn't put at the level of AI Sky, but the same level of workhorse. And I feel like it's because they see what Io Sky does. And I would love it. I would love to see Io Sky win the belt here. But I just think that with the heat that Naomi has and with the trajectory that she's going with it within her career right now, I don't see a reason to take it off of her, at least for now. I do agree with you though. I do agree that her character, her gimmick right now doesn't require the belt. I would even put it at a standard of a Drew McIntyre, where I don't think Drew McIntyre really needs a belt. I just think he needs the proper feuds to push him forward. And I think that we share the same sentiment for someone like Naomi, where if she didn't have this belt, but she was still running amok and being the menace that she is against other superstars, she would still be killing it. But because she does have the belt, and for the sole reason that I do want to get Rhea away from this belt, I don't see Naomi actually pinning Io Sky in the situation. So I feel like Naomi retains by pinning Rhea, and potentially Io Sky gets a rematch somewhere down the road. I would love for her to get her rematch clause, but like I said, we just don't respect those as much as anymore. We don't really get that post match rematch anymore for the belt. So we'll just have to wait and see if they'll offer her that or if she'll fight for that. But either way, this match is going to be good. These three ladies are going to fucking kill it, and it's definitely going to bring the house down. I personally think that this match will probably be the first match of the night. I think that's the perfect position. I actually had a conversation with Boyo not too long ago where um, I was explaining to him that the curtain jerk position isn't, it no longer exists. You know, the way that you start off the night and the way that you end the night are the crucial parts of the show. And I feel like now people would even fight for that first match of the night because you get to set the tone. And it's been something that we've seen recently a lot where typically the first matches aren't always horrible matches. Before, they were always throwaway matches. There were matches for people to get into their seats, but now you kind of don't want to miss that first match. They've been putting on some bangers in that first match, so I think this match will probably be the first banger for night two. I don't know if you see it the same way, but this match is definitely going to be a barn burner for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I don't know what order the card goes in either. I was a little surprised this would come on first. I don't know, but yeah, I would agree with you that going on first is no longer an undesirable position. Like when I first got into wrestling and when I was first watching it growing up, yeah, curtain jerking was you didn't want that. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
want a curtain jerk. You didn't want to be the match right before the main event either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Death spots, death spots were real on the card,
Before, yeah.
right? But yeah, I think these days being the opening match is not a knock anymore. It was while I was growing up. I can assure you, like that was, being in the opening match let you know exactly where the company thought you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now not so much. I feel like you're right. They make a more concerted effort to make that opening match, be a good one. Hell, Brock Lesnar himself curtain jerked at WrestleMania, and that was the last time I ever called it curtain jerking. Me personally, right? Like if Brock Lesnar's doing it, right? No, who's gonna complain after Brock Lesnar did it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I think a lot of people followed suit after Brock Lesnar did it because Brock Lesnar just came out and said, he's like, I don't want to wait all night just to go home. He's like, I would like to get in there and go
Yeah,
home. And
he was like, I got
for
shit to
that
do, man.
WrestleMania, he even proved that he was there for his match, and by the main event, he was watching it at home. And a lot of people took that suit after. There was a lot of people like Punk or like the Miz that were just like, hey, if I could get on as early as I can so I could just go home, even better for me. What the fuck am I doing just standing around?
Hold on though. Brock Lesnar had a point though, man, because that WrestleMania was like 7 hours long. My God, I remember we watched. I think we watched it at your house.
We did watch it at my house. Bro, we were here all day. I think we ordered pizza twice.
We ordered. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, we ordered food twice. We ran out of food, and
we had to order again
on the way home. No, I was like, I'm gonna get something on the way home, and I'm like, yo, how long is it? Dude, I think that's WrestleMania that made them concede that this needed to be a 2-night thing, man.
Yeah, no, for real.
It had to have been, man.
I think
that WrestleMania was over 7.5 hours long, man.
Between that and seeing that Wrestle Kingdom worked for 2 days for a long time, I feel like they were like, "Yo, we gotta split this shit up."
Yeah. Bro, but by the time Becky Lynch came out, it wasn't even Sunday anymore. Where WrestleMania? I think that was the New Jersey WrestleMania. I want to say, it was New Jersey, in the shadow of New York.
And you got to remember, shows are stacked now, right? Like the whole weekend is an ordeal for some of these events. But back then, it was more of an ordeal for the superstars because they had to attend the Slammies, they had to attend the Hall of Fame, then get whatever sleep they could, only to get there early for rehearsals in the morning, only to go get ready for your match, which was probably later on in the night. Yep, it was a whole ordeal for the superstars back in the day. So
and then any last minute whim of the powers that be. All right. So here's what's gonna happen. In the middle of the match, Seth Rollins is gonna come out and cash in the Money in the Bank. Like, imagine. So like, I'm just saying. So like, I get where you're coming from. Like they would have to be up till 1 a.m. the night before to be in the arena by 7 a.m. the next day because of all that, meetings, rehearsals, last minute changes, hell, meet and greets. I feel like I've seen stuff where there were still wrestlers meeting fans the day of the event.
Oh, 100%.
I've seen that before. So like, Make-A-Wishes, the Make-A-Wishes, all that stuff. So yeah, no, I'm with you, but man, 7.5 hours.
Fucking crazy, dude. Well, that's what
And
we're
there was
in.
a pre-show. And
We're
there was a
fuck,
pre-show. So we
we're
got the pre-show.
fucking in for that this weekend shit, along with the pre-shows and the hour allotted for each
Ah,
day.
yeah, but they're breaking it up into 2 days. Though.
Oh yeah, but
I
I
could
mean,
do
it's
that. I
still
think
it
I
still
could do that.
starts at what, like 1 in the afternoon if you're catching the pre-show, and it ends at like what 8, 9 at night. You're still sitting there for like a hot minute if you're watching the entire product. I will not. I will be tuning in at 3 or 5 whenever the fuck the official show starts.
Four, four, I think.
But yeah,
Four.
because we were so Regal's doing this thing. If you guys don't know, Regal's doing this thing where they're now partnering up with WWE to showcase some of the PLEs in theaters, and we decided that we were going to try to go on Saturday. We ended up not purchasing tickets, so we will not be attending that. We'll be watching it at home. But fuck, I don't even know what I was going to say. They're doing these tickets. What was I trying to say about the tickets?
No,
Oh,
the movie theater, like
the movie
a
theater.
5-hour movie theater
Yeah,
sitting. Like,
so like, yeah, like they're doing this thing with the with Regal where they're showing the pay per views in the theater. They want you to get there at 1. WWE is advertising this shit to start at like 3 or 4. Why the fuck do you want me to get there at 1? And then we started checking. It's all the pre-show and all. They're going to be showing it all. So if you really want to watch the whole product, you're staying there all day. You know, you're like waking up. You're probably having breakfast with your family, and then you're getting ready to go to the movie theater and watch this goddamn pay-per-view. So yeah, it's still a long ordeal to this day. I'm glad that we've broken it up into days, but still, bro, it's a lot of content to take, especially when it's not the only promotion that we watch. You know, we just recently had an 8-hour pay-per-view with AEW at All In. And earlier in the year, we had a huge pay per view with fucking New Japan, you know. So
oh no,
it's a lot of
hold on.
content.
Hold on, but AEW has no business breaking anything up into 2 nights. So let me just make that
True,
clear. So they
true.
better that 8 hours was unacceptable. But read this. I know no one's listening that can actually affect this, but AEW has no reason to be moving anything to be 2 nights. Okay, we're not there. Scale back on the 8 hours, fam. That's where y'all are. Okay, we're rooting for you. We're not haters. We're rooting for you, but no, AEW better not start doing 2 nights. No, man, we're not doing that.
Speaking about Hayden, next up has what Rob likes to call my favorite wrestler in the world, your girl Becky Lynch, the IC champion, versus Lyra Valkyria. Of course, this is for the belt with the stipulation that Lyra cannot no longer challenge if she loses. Lyra needs to regain here. I just feel like she does, just because that stipulation alone kind of paints her into the same corner that Cody got painted in over at AEW. And we definitely don't want that for someone with Lyra, especially because she is an up-and-coming star and she's got a whole lot of talent to show. So you don't really want to paint her into a corner where she can't win that belt anymore. So I really do think that Lyra needs to regain this belt back. As for Becky, I don't know. If she wins, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. I honestly do think that Becky is on her way out. I feel like she has other things that she should be worrying about in life right now, and wrestling just isn't one. I feel like she got bit by the bug because everyone was coming back, and that's why she came back. Why they decided to put a belt on her, it fucking blows my mind. I do want to get your thoughts going into this, because you actually don't even have Becky winning this match. All three of us down the line have Lyra winning this. How do you feel about Becky returning and winning this belt back? And do you think there's even a slight chance that she retains on Saturday night? Or on Sunday night, my bad.
No, Sunday. Yeah. No, not at all. Like we discussed way back at the beginning, is this a prediction show or a fantasy booking show? So this is a prediction show. So to me, this feud was created to get Lyra Valkyria over. Okay, that was the whole purpose of this feud. So maybe they had Becky win it to, like, you know, add some sauce on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give it a little oomph. But this feud was always designed for Lyra. This is Lyra's stepping stone from a personal friend of hers, someone she's known outside of the wrestling business. How long do they claim? I don't know if they claim to be lifelong friends, but Lyra says that Becky Lynch is like one of her persons outside of wrestling. So like Becky Lynch is doing her friend a favor. And Becky Lynch is starting to enter that part of her career where she's going to be doing more favors than receiving them as far as the booking goes. And what for Becky Lynch personally, what better person to start with, right? than a hand-picked protege, more or less, right? This feud is designed for Lyra. This is Lyra's moment. This is the beginning of whatever Lyra is going to be, right?
Yeah.
Do I think Lyra is going to represent like Io Sky? No, but do I think Lyra is going to be a woman worth remembering at the end of it all? Yes, I can see that. I see it happening. Unfortunately, she is the protege of someone who I don't think she can surpass. I don't think she can surpass everything Becky Lynch has done, right? And yes, you said it. I've been down with Becky Lynch since the first time I saw her in the ring. I texted you. I was like, "Yo, I don't know who this Becky Lynch steampunk person is, but I'm
I
down with
remember that.
That's who." And apparently, I didn't know this because the first show you had me watch, that was the first time she did the steampunk thing. Also, right? She had never came out with that, but I was down with it from day one. And so you understand when she ascended, my man. I'm talking about like it's Game of Thrones. Like when she ascended the Iron, like she became the man. She main events at WrestleMania. She won it, became the 2-time champ. I was like, yes, all my fanboying of her is paying off, right? Like, dude, she was in TV shows. She made cameos in TV shows, and not as herself, like as character, you know. Now, were they popular TV shows? No, because I had to look up the clip. It was some show I think on HBO that I don't even watch, right? And she pretended like she was a pissed off customer trying to get past reception or whatever, right? And she's done voice work in movies. Granted, one of the movies was like very WWE centric, if not funded by them. Rumble, you remember Rumble, the animated movie? She's a voice in that as well. Roman Reigns was in that movie as well, and Stephen A. Smith is one of the voices on there too, by the way, for any of the fans out there. But so like Becky Lynch has done so much, but I can pretty much call this the beginning of the end, and rightfully so, man. Rightfully so. What is left for her to do, right? Except stack numbers. The only thing she can do now is keep adding to the totals, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 11-time champion, 12-time. I don't know how many time champ she's been, but like, you know what I mean? The only thing she's doing at this point is either stacking to her own numbers, which at that point, I don't feel like I would be as much a fan anymore, or what she is doing here, and that is making someone. She's making Lara Valkyria. It to the WWE audience, right?
Yeah.
Anyone who's a fan already knew who Lara is, already know what she's about, but this is, again, TKO. There's money to be made here.
Yeah.
And TKO needs stars. So Becky Lynch is helping them make someone that she knows in real life and respects into a star. She's beginning to this is Becky Lynch declaring, yeah, this is it. This is the beginning of, the downhill. Now, the fan in me hopes not, but I don't see it any other way, right? Like I don't see it any other way. This feud is for Lyra Valkyrie to get over. Not that she needs it, but I understand there's a lot of casuals out there and they need this, so that Lyra can get her respect.
Well, I think everybody that listens to the podcast knows that I have no love lost for Becky. Since that text where you were like
wrong about that,
where you were
wrong.
like,
you wrongfully have no
this steampunk girl, I'm really fucking with her. Ever since then, I was a hater because she's just never fucking done it for me. She never has, and I don't think she ever will. So I can only hope that this is the beginning of the end. I just like Nikki Bella, I have no need for Becky Lynch on my TV screen.
Oh, wait, hold on. I was never down with no Nikki Bella.
No, I'm
not saying that you're saying that, but I want to make it clear to the listeners. So they're gonna think I was down with Nikki Bella. Hold on, nah, man, no, just doing all that either.
Yeah, I don't know. Her return just felt as forced as like a Charlotte return, and just to give her the belt and stuff like that, just it rubbed me the wrong way. I could see your point where it's it's just all about getting Lyra over, and hopefully that is what it is. Lyra did need that little bit of help. I was barely coming around to her before the Becky feud. She had been in the company for a hot minute, but she just didn't click with me. But after seeing her on the main roster for a while, I got it. I understood that Lyra is here to stay, and she's potentially one of the next big greats. Is it going to take some time? Yeah, like you said, I don't think that she'll be able to surpass some of the talent that we have as of now, but just give her some time, and I think she might surprise you. But as for this, I'm glad that all three of us have Lyra winning. Hopefully, that comes to fruition on Sunday night. Next, though, we got another huge match. Huge match. We got Dirty Dom defending his IC belt against the one and only AJ Styles. I don't think Dirty Dom loses here. I think Dirty Dom right now is hot. He's on top. He can do with a little bit more of defending that belt, but I feel like that's why we're putting him in a match against AJ Styles, is to prove to the fans that when needed, the boy can go. I just don't think that he loses it here for the simple fact that he just recently did a AAA invasion angle and he is challenging for their biggest belt. So I don't see why you would want to, send them down there during their biggest night of the year, their WrestleMania, with Dom not carrying that belt. Especially if there's a chance for him to walk out with two belts, shit, that would look even better. So I don't think that he wins. I don't think that he loses here, but there's always a chance. There's always a chance that AJ wins here because, as we know, AJ Styles is also on what we would consider his retirement tour. He's, hanging up the boots soon. So there's a chance that they give him one last run at the IC belt. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad at it. I know that Rob has AJ winning. I think it's for that fact alone, is that he wouldn't mind seeing AJ hold the belt one more time. But I just think that we're gonna keep it on Dom. Dom right now, he's on a warpath, and a lot of superstars talk him up as being the future. So I really just see him winning, and having a win against AJ Styles is huge. So it would just add another name to the long repertoire of victories he's going to have later down in the future. So I want to get your thoughts. You are with me. You think the Dirty Dom is retaining on Sunday night. I want to get your thoughts. Why do you think Dirty Dom is retaining? And do you think there's even a chance for AJ to win the belt on Sunday night?
I mean, first of all, why wouldn't Dirty Dom retain? No, I'm just messing with you. Like, Dirty Dom's not at that level where you just ask why. No, look. If I'm being honest, Dirty Dom is hot right now. He has won me over. I was not down with Dirty Dom at first, and that's not even Dirty Dom. I didn't like him when he first came in, and he was tagging with his father, right, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And they were doing like moves in stereo. Remember that? You remember that shit?
I hated
they were
that
doing
shit.
like moves.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I was not. I was not. You know what? Screw that. I'm taking it back even further. I was not down with him when he was in the custody of Dom ladder match with his stupid blonde hair, looking like a reject from the Stand music video.
With his PSP.
Remember? Yeah, you remember he had the blonde hair, looking like the little brother from the Stand music video.
Yeah.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't called. Nah, but so I was not down with Dom for a long time. Okay. Then he got with Rhea Ripley, and I'm like, they're making me hate him even more. Then he got with Liv, and I'm like, what the? And recently, man, he's making eyes at Roxanne, right? Like, look, man,
he keeps winning, right? Dude. He keeps winning.
He can't keep getting away with it. Like, nah, but seriously, his heel work, like that Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania earlier this year. I knew he was going over. By the way, I was like, yo, I think Dom's going over. Like all the dirt sheets, all the rumors. Right, all the other podcasters that I listen to as well, all the wrestling people, they're like, "Yo, Dirty Dom is winning, and here's why." And I was like, "Damn, they make a really good case." And I think and sure enough, he did. And then he had that moment where Finn's walking back up the ramp, and Dirty Dom runs past him to celebrate in the ring again. And I was like, little character things like that are what won me over, right?
Yeah.
And yes, he recently did the. Not only did he do the AAA angle, but for the people who saw that Worlds Collide, that first AAA and WWE show, he also ran an angle there. He ran an angle, and they set up. He was in the crowd with Liv, and Octagon Jr. I think attacked him, right? Or he got into it with Octagon. It was Octagon Jr. And they set the match for the next night. And a AAA performer got to have their first match at a WWE PLE because of Dom, right? mind you, Dom is still a youngin, so he doesn't need to be giving a shot to anybody, right? He's doing it because that's probably where the money is. And yes, he recently was in the AAA takeover angle, and he's going to challenge for the God, damn, I don't want to sound like
Mega
a
belt.
fake here, but is it it's the Mega? I was gonna say, is it the AAA Mega?
Yeah.
It's the Mega, right? Sorry, so some of these names, man, the Universal title, the AAA Mega, the Earth 616 Galaxy title.
What's a stupid
into
one from
multiverse here.
AEW? The fuck. It's like their North American title. The one that like MJF like threw in the
Oh, okay.
trash can.
Hang
I
on.
forgot what
I
it's
know
a
what you're talking about.
stupid
That
ass name.
yeah,
They all have
they have some dumb names.
yeah.
Like, every company has a dumb title name.
Yeah.
Even New Japan has a dumb one. I'm blanking on it right now. Oh, the
Mhm.
Never. Okay,
The
when I
never
first got to New Japan, no, okay, I know what it is now. But when I first got to, I go, what the hell is a Never open?
open weight.
So it's no, the Never open weight. They call it the Never.
Yeah.
The Never's part of the name. So I'm
The
like, wait,
never open
so
weight. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, what the fuck is it? All right. Look, I was wrong, right? The great match. I think the first Never open weight match I saw was Hiroki Goto against Minoru Suzuki. That was the first match I ever saw for that
Banger.
belt. So yeah, so I knew I was wrong immediately. But upon first hearing that name, I go, what the hell is this? But no, Dirty Dom. Look, okay, and also one thing that companies do now, ESPN is like the biggest, the most egregious of this, but WWE does it too. Are these weird, very, very punctual statistics and records? Oh, LeBron James is the only player to ever have 30, 10, and 10 in an elimination game. What? Steph Curry's the only person to hit 8 threes in a row without missing in a road game. What? Why do you need those extra? This person's the only one to get 5 steals on a Tuesday. Like, what are we doing here, right? But here, you just know WWE is salivating over themselves to be able to say, "Oh, Dirty Dominic Mysterio is the first person to simultaneously hold the WWE and AAA title at the same time." You know that's where this is going. You just know it, okay? I know it. You know it. That they just can't wait to start setting these new records that only exist because of stipulations they set. Fine, I'll give you that, but you just know that they are tripping over their own feet to declare someone the first person to hold a WWE and AAA title simultaneously, and it's going to be Dirty Dom. And you know what? As things stand today, I don't think you could pick someone better, honestly.
Look, man, I'm with you. I think that they're just biting at the chomp to try and give the kid the title of holding the first ever, being the first ever to hold the WWE and the AAA title. And like you said, who better than Dirty Dom? He's I've said it before. He's on a warpath. He's making a name for himself. He's definitely separating himself from his father. I wouldn't even say I associate them together anymore. Dirty Dom has done that job to make his character stand alone, and I think it's perfect. I love that they've been doing a lot more work with AAA, and I also like the way that they're going about it. If we've noticed, they're not really promoting the AAA events, but they are allowing AAA to use a lot of their talent, which is pretty much what I would imagine that they wanted to do with AAA, which was just give them the tools necessary to succeed, but not actually give them, the hand that just gives them everything. They've sent people like Lola Vice down there. They've sent people from TNA like fucking Santino Morella down there. Now Dirty Dom, Ray Phoenix, all of them are showing up down there. So they're providing them the tools to succeed. They're just not, just giving them the immediate success. And I like that they're doing that with AAA. And having Dom be that representative between both brands, I think is perfect. So I'm excited to see what they do. I do, like I said, you and me do think that he retains here on Sunday night. And it would be cool if he showed up with that belt down on Triple Mania in a couple weeks. So Dirty Dom on top. Rob has AJ Styles. We'll have to wait to see on Sunday who gets it right. But up next is the second to last match of the night, and one that I am very excited for because it has two of the biggest people that I love right now in the company, and that is Solo Sikoa as the U.S. champion defending against Jacob. This is going to be another fucking barn burner. I would love to see Jacob win his belt back here, but the odds are just too stacked up against his favor. Solo has created his own family tree as of recent, and they have just been fucking with Solo at every turn. And for that reason, I just think that this match will probably end in fuckery and Solo retaining. And if I got to be honest, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that because one, Jacob, he's had a phenomenal career ever since getting here, and he has had that rocket strapped to him, and we've seen what he's been able to do. But Solo is also someone that's been here for a minute, and he's been showing, at least to me, as of recently, that he not only has the comedic chops on the mic to handle himself very well, but he's also well versed in the ring. You know, and who wouldn't be when he's been around the talent that he's been around? You know, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, like he's been around enough talent to know what he's doing, but he brings that certain extra oomph whenever he tries to let the creative juices flow, and he gets a little comic with it. So for that reason alone, I think the Solo here retains. I don't see that there's a reason for us to take the belt off him just yet. But if we decide to give it to Jacob, if he does win, just like you and Rob predict, I wouldn't be mad at it either. Jacob's my boy, and I love to see him win. You know, from convict to gold, all the way up. I wouldn't be mad at it. So I want to get your thoughts going into this match. You have Jacob, I have Solo. What's it looking like? Who do you think ultimately takes it on Sunday?
I got Jacob Fatu. All right, I got the Wolf. You know, he needs to start a howl, man. I want him to win and start a howl. Rampage Jackson style when he would win. No, okay. All right. Me personally, look, I've enjoyed the Bloodline for what it is, right?
Hey.
Throughout its whole run, more or less. But none of the Bloodline infighting has ever really done it for me, man. Like that.
I can see that.
When I think the first in Bloodline infighting was when Roman defended the belt a few times against Jay, right? That was the first instance of Bloodline infighting.
Yes, I would say so.
Didn't do it for me. It didn't. The matches weren't even that good, if I'm being honest. Sorry. And let's not even get into this disaster that was brother versus brother, twin versus that. Let's not get into that shit show again, man. That was a disappointing. That was the worst match for that entire WrestleMania on either night, I want to say.
100%.
Okay, so like, now, do I think that? Okay, now here's the thing. Roman Reigns to me is just so many steps ahead of Jay as a wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both Usos to me are close enough to each other in wrestling talent, but that wrestling talent is not high. Let me just say it like that. That their in-ring work doesn't do it for me. So this match, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, is probably the best match between two members of the Bloodline against each other, where like they're both technically proficient to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both on the better side of wrestling ability.
Okay.
So maybe this will be the match of Bloodline infighting that does it for me, right?
Yeah.
But to date, none of the Bloodline infighting has been good to me. I've enjoyed story-wise, yes, fine, it's been good, but as an in-ring product, strictly, I've enjoyed none of it, and I hate that I haven't because I want to. Don't go. What are we gonna count Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn? Because if we're counting Sami Zayn, then fine. There has been some Bloodline infighting I've enjoyed, right? But Sami Zayn, he's honorary Uso. Okay, look, man. If this match doesn't do it for me, right? And I'm hoping it does, so I'm not rooting against it. But if this match doesn't do it for me, let's leave the infighting to the Targaryens, okay? Let's leave the infighting to the show on HBO. I'm not trying to plug nothing. I'm just saying, look, man, I've seen good infighting, okay? And none of it's ever been in a wrestling ring. So, but I have Jacob Fatu. He's the better performer. I don't think they have any plans for the U.S. belt, regardless of who wins this match. So if they don't have any plans, then at least let it go to the better wrestler, because that way, when a plan takes shape, at least you already have the belt on the better performer, which is why I'm going with Jacob Fatu here. Okay, just because I could be wrong. Remember, I'm not as plugged in these days as I was back in our heyday of being fans, which I want to return to now that we're doing this. But to my knowledge, there are no concrete plans for this belt going forward. I could be wrong. Hell, you know what? If Solo Sikoa wins it, then my guess is, from a point that we brought up in the previous match, it won't be a true partnership until there's a AAA performer that is one of the people that's holding both a AAA belt and a WWE belt, right? So if there's no plans for the US title, then let Solo Sikoa win it, and then somewhere later this year or beginning early next year, let a AAA person win it. And then they'll be the second performer to be a simultaneous WWE and AAA belt holder, but it'll be the first performer coming out of AAA. Then to me, it'll seem like a more legit partnership, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going with Jacob Fatu because I think he's the better in-ring performer, and because I don't think there's any concrete plans for this title at the moment going forward. Of course, everything could change in a heartbeat. They're only one signing away from plans changing, right?
Yeah.
All the time.
That's true.
But yeah, to me, I'm more interested in will this finally be the bloodline infighting match that is satisfactory to me. That I'm more interested in seeing that, because to me, none of the bloodline infighting has been good. None of the matches that are bloodline versus bloodline have been good.
That's
Maybe
fair.
you can find one that I missed,
No,
but I don't think any of them have been good.
This whole time I've been trying to think, because you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
The storylines are great. The storyline is great, but when it comes to
In-ring
feuds within the bloodline themselves, I can't really say there's been one that I'm like, oh shit, I'm excited for this one. Even
not just the feuds, like the matches themselves haven't been
no, that's what I'm
satisfactory
saying.
to me,
Like that's what I meant. The matches, like the in-ring work itself, has never been like anything great, and maybe that's to shit Jimmy being hurt for a large majority of the time that the bloodline was happening, or just Jay not being up to par talent wise. Yeah, like it can be all those factors. But yeah, I can't really think of a match where I'm like, oh man, that was a great fucking bloodline match, because there really wasn't. The storylines are great, yeah, but when it comes to in-ring work, they don't work well together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so if this match, which I don't think this match is gonna be bad either, but there's just something about when bloodline fights each other that's not working. So if this match fails, leave the infighting to the Dragons, fam. So someone else is already covering that very niche corner of the market. And side reference, even though season 2 was bad, they pretty much have been doing a good job of it. So leave the infighting to true fantasy stuff, and let's do something more legit, with our bloodline characters. But I do hope it's a good match at least. So if my prediction is wrong, but it's still a good match, I'll still be happy. But I'm going Jacob Fatu here.
So you and Rob got Jacob Fatu. I have Solo. We'll have to wait until Sunday to see who is correct. For our final match, and probably the biggest match of SummerSlam overall, we have the main event for night 2. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the championship belt. Now, if you're asking me, this shouldn't even be fucking happening. And I hope they explain why it's happening tonight on SmackDown, because legally, John did not sign that goddamn contract, so this match shouldn't even be official. Okay? But
I've seen lawyers on YouTube chime in like oh, some of my fans brought this to my attention, and yeah, like there's been a lawyer, who's the guy? I don't know if you. Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer. There's a lawyer on YouTube. He has like a hip hop song that one of his people made for him.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like that's a little intro. It cracks me up, dude. But like I've seen lawyers chime in on this, like ask a lawyer or whatever. Like, no, you cannot. You cannot sign. That contract is null and void. this you know who must have approved this contract? That same judge who saw the Shield on a holiday that one time. I know you know what time I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like the Shield, they've seen a judge. Like people are like, it's Memorial Day. Like how'd they see a judge on a holiday? And then Corey Gray had to come out like, oh no, I got a judge who's a
I got
closer.
a
Corey
judge.
Gray's gonna save that story. Oh man, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you know what they should call it? Unsanctioned match.
Unsanctioned match. So I hope they explain it, but this should be a good match regardless. Cody Rhodes, John Cena. This is a feud that's been going on for a large majority of the year. To be honest, like I said, I would love for Cody to win here. I just don't see a reason for John to lose here, unless we're gonna start going down the path of John's redemption story. I can see a world which, yes, I still fuck whatever Rob says. I still think that there's a quality redemption story to be told with John Cena. And if that is getting us there by having Cody win this belt back, and then him himself turning on the fans because they decided to cheer for John instead of him when he was trying to do the right thing, and that being the catalyst for John to turn babyface again, then I could see Cody winning. But if we're not going to do that, then why are we going to ruin what's perfectly working? And that's John Cena's heel run. He's kind of doing all the greatest hits right now while he's under a heel with this belt, and that kind of gives him the leverage to do that. He can basically say, I want Punk at Saudi because he has the belt, because he's the top dog. If he didn't, I don't think we would have even gotten CM Punk to step on that plane. So I don't see a reason for them to actually take this belt off of John just yet, unless it is for the purpose of progressing a story, a heel Cody storyline. But again, I don't know if it's still too soon for us to even go that way. So I gotta say that this is a tough one, but I did have Cody, and I'm just going to stick with Cody. So did Rob. You have John Cena. I would like to know your reasoning for having John Cena. Have you been a fan of the heel run? I know that, it was one of the major parts that kind of split me and Rob during the podcast while we were filming it. So I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Are you enjoying the heel run? Is that why you see John Cena winning on Sunday night? Is there even a chance for Cody to come out on top?
Okay, so I feel like your question's a bit. It requires a layer of context.
Okay.
I think the heel run stumbled not out of the gate. It stumbled on the first night after it happened. I thought the heel turn was great.
Okay.
Right? Never mind that Travis Scott was involved and now he's had a falling out with the company. He's like they even
Thank God.
Did you hear that they took it? Like I guess Travis Scott was going to be some DLC and then he wasn't.
No, I didn't hear about that. I didn't know
so
that they had
apparently
a falling out.
The most recent DLC for the 2K 25. We're at 25. Yeah, we're at 25. It was going to be Travis Scott, but they had a falling out so bad, which no one still gave official comment on what it was. That's why El Grande Americano was put in, because they had to take out Travis Scott stuff. He was going to be, and then was I a fan of the heel turn the night it happened? Yes. Was I a fan of those first few John Cena appearances afterwards? No. I think the heel run stumbled out of the gate hard. Because of the heel turn though.
Yeah.
Like, where was The Rock? Where was Travis Scott? Oh God, and Travis Scott did show up again during the main event of WrestleMania, right? And now they've since fallen out, so now we have to pretend that Travis Scott has just not been a part of this whole thing, right? But so I think that the heel run itself has had its stumbles and setbacks, right? But I think that character-wise and promo-wise, John Cena is giving it his all. He's had some great promos in this heel run, right?
Definitely.
The R-Truth angle was fire. Just the R-Truth angle was probably the best thing R-Truth's been a part of that wasn't comedy in his WWE run.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we'll comb the records and find something, but they fired him for real. This wasn't for play, okay? This wasn't make-believe. They really thought they were going to get rid of R-Truth because there was no money to be had in it. and the fans were like, nah, nah. The to quote a late talent here, the fan said that doesn't work for us, brother, and they brought him back. They brought him like, come on, like, look, man. The only time I can recall the fans doing something like that was what, WrestleMania 30, right? Daniel Bryan, possibly. I can't. Oh no, I'm lying. The last time I remember the fans affecting something like that so quickly was when they wanted to call it the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, whatever it was. You
Oh
remember what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think that's the last time I remember the fans affecting something that passionately, right?
Yeah.
Now, in that instance, the fans were being haters, and rightfully so, rightfully so. But we were doing it to hate, right?
Yeah,
We were trying
100%.
to take something away from someone.
Yeah.
And in this instance, the fans were like, "Nah, what are y'all doing?" They brought him back, and he had probably his best and most serious angle he's ever had on the main roster because he's mostly been a comedy guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the John Cena heel run, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's been an overall positive, but the matches have been the worst thing about it. And let's call a spade here, okay? John
That's
isn't
fair.
what he used to be in the ring. No one expects him to be.
100%.
Um, and the heel run is being saved by his individual mic work because even the story, they're not giving him much. They gave him The Rock only for The Rock to be a no-show. They gave him Travis Scott only for Travis Scott to have a falling out with the company. And like they are doing their damnedest, whether purposefully or not, to ruin this heel run. And Cena's like, no, I've wanted this forever. When they put a mic in my hand, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like he's doing the most he can in the position where he has the most power, and that's when he's cutting those promos, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, they can all that can be happening around me, but when I got this mic in my hand, I have the power, I have it, and some of these heel promos have been A1, fam, just top shelf, whatever you want, whatever the kids are calling it these days, based, whatever lingo, whatever term you want to slap on it. A lot of his promos have been just that, right?
Yeah.
But so much else around it has been not, and it's not John Cena's fault. But I think the story itself and the promos have been good enough that I'm going to call the John Cena heel run a net positive. But remember, if you spend $100 and you make back $100.25, that was a positive as well. Profit was only a quarter of it. So I'm going to call it a positive only in the sense that, yes, they're above breaking even on this heel run. And I don't mean in terms of money, but like in terms of what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm calling it a positive just because they made a 25-cent profit. That's the only way I'm calling it a positive because, yes, the in-ring work has been subpar. Unfortunately, I think someone said that's been the worst main event WrestleMania match in what, a decade? I don't know. Like that it's hyperbole, yes, but
But I
I
mean,
can't
it's
remember the
true.
last time. I mean, look, it's the worst main event WrestleMania since one of the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns one when Roman Reigns was doing the big dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
32, I think. 32, I think. But like that match was god awful. Right. Let's keep it real. So the matches have not been good, and yes, that was a bad in-ring match that they did on WrestleMania. And the only saving grace it had, they can't even talk about anymore because there was Travis Scott showing up, and now you can't even.
You can bring him up.
I hate that Fiend song now, by the way.
I still love that song. So
I played it in one of our chats as a joke. Just remember, I was like, "Oh, Fiend." But like, I only went to night one. Okay, I can only imagine people that went both nights.
But that's something that like I hate that WWE does is that like they'll get one of these songs and I'm pretty sure they're paying a pretty penny to be like to be able to use those songs, but I will always blame them for ruining the weekend for me because for those 2 years that they had it inside the fucking performance center with the same goddamn song. You know, it was the weekend song, and it was like, "Welcome to WrestleMania, sponsored by Snickers." And I will always remember that because it's associated to the goddamn weekend song. So, like, I feel it. Like, the Fiend song was so goddamn drowned out during WrestleMania. I'm sure fucking people hate that shit now.
No one can ever say WWE doesn't get their money's worth when they when
Oh
they
yeah.
license a song out. When they pay a license for a song, they get their money's worth.
You know
And,
what's crazy? What bothers me is when they have multiple songs and then you don't know which one is the official song. Like
oh
they'll
yeah,
do
I
that.
hate
They'll
that
have
too.
like 2 or 3, and you're like, well, which one is it? Is it the MGK song or is it the fucking the Shinedown song that you put? Like
Yeah, and then someone comes out to perform yet another song that
another
hasn't
song.
even been in the mix up until the performance is like, ah, well, that's just what we could book at the time. That's what we could book on short notice. Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. But that was just to answer your question about what I thought about this John Cena heel run so far. Now, in this match, you and the listeners wouldn't have noticed I've picked Cena. And what have I been saying all cast long? This is a prediction show, not a fantasy booking show. This is going to be like, God damn, man, this guy just repeats it everything all the time. I go, yes, yes, I do. Okay. I got a kid. Okay. You know how many times I got to say something to get my point across? All right. That's neither here nor there. What did I say earlier about Roman Reigns? This makes no sense. He's leaving almost immediately to go film Street Fighter. Well,
True.
surprise, surprise, and spoiler. I won't spoil who, but it's that easy to look up. Guess who else has been cast in Street Fighter, people? Guess who else has been cast in Street Fighter? I'll give you a guess. I didn't pick him to win this match because he has to leave to go film Street Fighter. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. WWE, because of Brock Lesnar and a few other people, yes, they've had absentee champions. I feel like at this point, absentee champions is something we've been conditioned for, whether we like it or not. But when has WWE ever had an absentee champion who's actively out there doing another project? Right?
Yep. That's true.
Now, unless WWE has some skin in the Street Fighter movie, which I could be wrong, but I doubt they do. I mean, when Mortal Kombat came out, Ronda Rousey was with them, and Ronda Rousey she's been a voice in the Mortal Kombat games, and I think she even once did an entrance, a Sonya Blade entrance, right, for in an event. But to my knowledge, WWE doesn't have any skin in the Street Fighter movie outside of some of their biggest stars being cast in it, right? But I don't think they have any money on the line here for its box office.
There's some
I don't
kind
think
of
they have big
partnership.
producer credits. There
There's
is,
some
okay.
kind of partnership because during San Diego Comic-Con, which was I think last week, they
Okay.
announced a line of toys that is Street Fighter X WWE. So you have
Oh, really?
like
Okay.
a Bianca that is Cammy, a final boss that is Bison, a Cody Rhodes that is he's not the character that he's playing in the movie.
Street Fighter, okay, yeah.
He's a different character, but there's got to be some
Okay.
kind of collaboration
Okay,
right now with Street Fighter.
Okay,
so they probably do have some kind of skin in the game. I just don't know to what
Okay.
extent.
Oh, okay, yeah, but to my knowledge, like I said, yes, we've had absentee champions, and that's a rant for another day. But we've never had an absentee champion who's absentee to be doing another project. But if WWE has skin in this game, but I still don't think that changes my pick though. Like it makes no sense for Cody to win here, right?
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, because he probably can't even come out on Raw the next night. I don't know how soon he has to. From what I heard, Roman Reigns has to leave immediately.
Oh
right?
shit. Okay.
That's what I heard. Now, that doesn't mean that he's gonna leave from the stadium straight to the set. Like he's not even gonna be around on Sunday. But the way I heard it, Roman Reigns has to leave immediately after SummerSlam, and I don't see why Cody would be any different, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So just based on hey, someone has to be there the next night. I have John Cena winning this, right? I have John Cena. It's for a business reason, but it makes sense. Like you're not gonna have Cody win the belt and then not be able to appear.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That makes sense.
That makes no sense. And really, that honestly, just that is the basis of why I picked John. And yes, I know we're talking about Street Fighter a lot. Hey, look, man, our interests are outside of wrestling. You're seeing some of the other corners of the internet that we like to frequent, right? So but yeah, like the Street Fighter movie is. Once again, I know I mentioned it earlier, bro. I swear I thought they were being signed on to be voice actors, like in the next game or something. For real, I was like, oh, they got Roman Reigns to be a voice. I was like, oh, Cody's gonna be a voice too. Then someone was like, nah, they ain't voice work. I'm like, oh damn. Yeah. Also though, I will say Cody's casting is to me a correction of the original casting. Okay, yes, Cody is actually an All-American hero.
Huh?
Giving it away here. For any astute listeners, that should tell you who Cody's playing. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want to spoil it. This is easy enough to find. We're not your source for that on here, right? Maybe one day we will be, but yeah. So Cody's casting in Street Fighter is correcting a mistake that's what, over 30 years old now at this point.
Yeah.
92, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just based off that, I'm like, yeah, Cody's not winning this match. I don't see why they would do that. And I do think that John deserves he deserves to have the heel run
He wants.
they need to do right by the John Cena heel run.
Yeah.
I know I've called it an overall positive, but it's only a positive by the definition of the term, okay? So yeah, John Cena still owed something on this heel run. And they need to, between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, I think John Cena will get to have the heel run that he envisioned, right? And then, Survivor Series, whatever's going to happen is going to happen there. Not even going to get into that for now, but for now, I see no reason to take the belt off John, unless he's been cast too. Hell, like, could wake up tomorrow, find out.
It's just a whole WWE prediction.
I mean, hold on. It kind of makes sense though. You want to get people to fight on screen and not fight for real. I mean,
yeah.
Who better, right?
Yeah,
like
100%.
And mind you, this is getting a little off topic here, but we got the second Mortal Kombat movie coming out later this year, right?
We do, yeah.
And the reason I thought that WWE didn't have any skin in the Street Fighter game is because they've had skin in the Mortal Kombat game before.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they didn't have any skin in the movie, but WWE has been associated in the past with Mortal Kombat.
Actually, no. You know what? I take that back. WWE has had a connection with Street Fighter for a long time because Zelina Vega is a guest commentator for the latest Street Fighter. Like, you know how like now when you have a match, you can have like fake EA or fake esports commentators on commentating your match.
Yeah?
Like,
okay.
Zelina Vega is one of the voices that commentates the match. So there is a connection. And there's one other WWE superstar that did it too. But there's a connection between WWE and Street Fighter already. At least a pre-existing one in that sense.
Oh, I feel like that came more from Zelina Vega's cosplaying than anything WWE was trying to get done on purpose.
True,
maybe. I could
but
be wrong,
still, like, you know how it was at a time where like that shit was unthought of. Vince was still around. Vince didn't want them going out and helping out other companies at all. Even if it wasn't a company that lived in the realm of his world.
Competed with them, that.
He still wanted to be, everything was WWE, like there's infamous stories of him telling people like, why are you watching other TV? Like, you should be watching the product. There's plenty.
The Freddie Prinze Jr. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's plenty of the WWE network that you could be watching. Why are you watching anything else? So like I think
it was a comedy thing. Yeah, and he's all like, why don't you just watch a Santino segment?
Yeah.
I remember.
So like it was at a time where like stuff like that wasn't accepted. So like there is some connection to WWE and Street Fighter from the past. And whether that helped usher in this new one, like I said, they have a whole new line of toys that are cross-branded with Street Fighter. So I would imagine that they have some kind of skin in the game. I'm just like you. I'm just not sure how deep it runs, but there is a connection there.
No, yeah, see, I didn't know that. See, I got to get back on it, man. I got to get back on it.
But yeah,
no, John Cena. Back to the original point. I just think there's no reason for Cody to win this. Like there's reason as a fan, fantasy booking, but as currently constructed with the kind of stuff that we already know, I wouldn't call it behind the scenes because this is public information. We're not insiders. We don't have a source yet, but this is public knowledge, all right? Some of the stuff we know going on helps us make these picks. And for me, knowing what Cody's off to right after SummerSlam tells me that John Cena needs to retain here.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I think you may even sway to my mind on that one. I'm gonna stick with...
that's just my reasoning for making the pick. I didn't make the pick to sway, but that's just I'm telling you why I made the pick.
Well, I mean, you got a chance to state your case, and it kind of won me over. It makes sense, on both sides. If they're leaving for this movie, I had no idea that Roman had to leave immediately. If they have to leave for this movie almost immediately, then there's no point.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's true. That's just what I've heard. I don't know the validity of that claim, but yeah.
there's no point in continuing a storyline with them, at least right now, you know. So, and there are two superstars that can go and take some time off and will be fine. You know, the roster normally has been really good at stepping up when we have some of these bigger superstars, you know, step away. So we'll just have to wait and see. Me and Rob have Cody, and you have John. It's going to be a long weekend of PLEs. Like we said, it is a 2-night affair starting on Saturday, continuing on Sunday, and then of course we have the Monday
I mean,
Night Raw after
nah,
SummerSlam.
technically it starts at SmackDown later tonight, man.
It
We're gonna be
does, yeah.
back in chat watching SmackDown
Yeah,
probably.
absolutely. So I mean, it's one of those weekends. You know, it's another style of WrestleMania weekend where we're just booked to the gills trying to watch all the content possible. But I gotta ask you before we send this home. I gotta ask you, what night are you more excited to watch, and what night do you think will overall be the best?
Night two.
Night two for both.
So sorry,
For both.
I don't know if that was a little too quick. Night two.
Night two.
No. Okay. It's night two just because something about this SummerSlam feels unbalanced. All the tag matches are on the same night. Shout out Teddy Long. Holla holla. Holla. Did Teddy Long book night one? Like every like the not that there's a lot of them, but the only tag matches are all on the same night.
Yeah.
Um and also it is out of balance. There's 6 matches night one, 5 night from what we know. Cards subject to change, always we know that, but the way I'm seeing the cards stack up, there's 6 matches on night one and 5 on night two, which makes me think that whatever musical performance they're gonna do is happening in night two, right?
Yeah.
So and by the way, something we haven't talked about, I think you only touched on it once, but Cardi B is hosting SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant to anybody. I don't know who's to look. I know there's fans out there that are only gonna watch because Cardi B is hosting. Fine, whatever. Realistically speaking, though, I don't know any legit wrestling fan that whose needle was moved because Cardi B is hosting. But night two just has also night two. Every match on night two, I think, is a stipulation match.
Yeah.
So that's weird too. All the street fights and all the no DQ, all that is so it feels weird. Like normally you sprinkle that in, you know?
Yeah.
But no, every match on night one is pretty standard, right?
It's all hype, no fall. It's all rise.
No, but what I'm saying, every match on night one has the potential to end in a schmoz.
Yeah.
That's what we dusty finish, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
Whereas every match on night two has no possibility of that. There will be definitive winners, right? Oh
Yeah.
no, maybe the Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyrie doesn't have a stipulation, but if Lyra Valkyrie can never challenge again, then that match get that
That's
by
a
that
step.
knowing that lets me know that it can end in a schmoz though,
Yeah.
or in a dusty finish. You know what I mean? So, but like triple threat, so that there's no DQ, no count out there. Then Lyra Valkyrie can never challenge. What's the Dom AJ?
I think
Is
this was
that
a regular match. Because
That's a regular match?
Jacob Solo's in a cage and John Cody is in a street fight. I think, right?
No, because there was gonna be a street fight. Then another match. They already said there's gonna be no countouts, no DQ, and they're like, so basically a street fight. But they're not calling it because there's already a street fight on the card. But night two just seems like the more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Night one is just, and also because night one has a celebrity match, and we've both already stated how we feel about celebrity matches, right?
Yeah.
I've come to accept it's a part of the game now. You know, rock and wrestling, all that. But also night two though, and the ultimate indicator is that when I told you that I can only watch one match with the boys this weekend, and I told you let's do night two. That's how I knew that's the night I'm more excited for, because that's the one that I want to do with the boys, you know?
Yeah.
So I think night two will be the better night. I hope to be now. That doesn't mean that night one's gonna be trash, but you're asking me what I think is gonna be the better night. I hope to be pleasantly surprised. I hope to be wrong on certain aspects of it. But to me, I think night two is the night. The night. What do you got?
Yeah, I think with you, I think it just looks like a straight up, stacked hype night on night 2. Not to say that night 1 is going to be any less exciting, but you have pretty much a belt on the line all night during night 2. So that just makes for higher stakes for better TV. So I would imagine that night 2 is going to be better. Night 1's still going to be great though. You have a lot of good talent.
Yeah.
Despite
Wait.
the
Also,
celebrity match, you have a lot of great talent
yeah.
on that card.
Also, every match on night 2 is for a belt. So it's like, so I've got a Night of Champions going on here, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like, I don't know, something about night 2 just seems. I'm not trying to knock on wood. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but they like just asking me, well, just looking at the card and how it is, I'm thinking night 2 is a better night.
So,
we shall see.
Yeah, both of us have night 2. I didn't get to ask Rob, sorry, but I would imagine that he would say night 2 too. So I'm just gonna say all 3 of us have night 2 as the best night and the most excited to watch for this weekend. That brings this prediction show to an end. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week to bring you the review of the show. Julio, thank you a lot for joining me this week. Any last words before we send it off?
No, thank you for inviting me. I hope everyone gives it a listen. I hope anyone who has a different opinion, feel free, share it with us in a respectful way, please. But you got a differing opinion on what we got, share it. I hope to be back. Hopefully, we'll sort that out. And yeah, I look forward to watching this weekend's wrestling festivities.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I have been KiingJesss. He's been Hoodie Julio. And remember, Hulk Hogan really was that racist. We'll see you next week.